Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming News. Today is the 18th June of 2018. My name is Kralizec and I will be your host for the evening. Today we're going to talk about two Steam related stories. The first one is about the fact that there's going to be a bit of restriction imposed on certain types of games on Steam. And secondly, we're going to talk about a statement Valve made about games with fake reviews. But let's begin with the story about restrictions on certain, what could be called quote-unquote fake games. This is about a really issue I don't understand. It's about games that probably most of you never really heard of. It's games that just have essentially their main feature be achievement farming. Like you get hundreds and hundreds of achievements for playing this game. And I personally am a player who never really got the appeal of achievements in any of the game I ever played. I still remember to this day when achievements were introduced to World of Warcraft. And I was like, okay, I will do the 5 that I like because they give a cool title, or they give like a cool tabard, or something like that. But the people who just go for like, oh, this is a cool achievement, I want to do it, and there's no reward for it, I really don't see the appeal. I can see the appeal in just being a completionist and trying to get all the achievements in a certain game. That I can sort of understand. But that's literally impossible to do on Steam because there just aren't enough hours in a day to even attempt to do that. So why do people care about achievements? Like, if you're a person who cares about achievements on Steam, be sure to tell me why in the comments. I really want to know. I want a peek into your personality, I guess. But Valve has announced that when it comes to these games that are, well, pretty much only there to farm achievements for certain people, that they will be limiting them to a few hundred, more specifically to 100. This is going to go over a thing that they are going to call the confidence metric. And not only will the number of achievements be limited to 100 if the game doesn't meet this confidence metric sort of thing, which we don't really know how it does work technically, but the achievements also won't be showcased in the user achievement showcase, and they will not contribute to the global achievement count. And this sort of kills this entire genre of games, even though usually they aren't really games. Like, there's literally a game that you just, you put it on and it gives you achievements for it being on. And I don't mean like one achievement, like, you start it! It just like regularly gives you achievements for the amount of time you're playing, or quote unquote playing. It's just running in the background. And these add up to your achievement count on Steam. And really, I just don't really get this. It won't really impact any of the games that are over this confidence metric, and those should be the majority of games that are actually good games, so good. And really, I don't have any complaint about this thing. It just seems like a sensible thing to do. It doesn't censor these games. It just makes it that some people will not have inflated achievements amounts in their profiles. And if for some reason that was the thing you would brag about, like, I have 50,000 achievements, and 40,000 of them came out of these sort of achievement farmers, then yeah, you will probably lose your achievements over time, because these games will going to get their amount of achievements reduced, and they will not count to your global achievement count. But I really don't see the appeal in it. I'm just baffled by the fact that some people even try to do this. Seriously. One thing that should be mentioned about this quote-unquote confidence metric is that we actually now know that it is also used for the Steam cards, the tradable Steam cards that you can trade for real-world money in Steam, on Steam. So that gives us sort of an insight, because about a year ago, Valve decided to limit games that have access to these cards, and now we know that the limiting factor is this confidence metric. And yeah, that actually seems like a good solution. Once you can trust the game that people are playing it, that they are playing it for the gameplay and not for the achievements or the Steam cards that can be traded for real money, yeah, that's a decent metric to do this over. And kudos to Steam or Valve for actually doing something right. And staying on the subject of Valve, there was a statement made by Tom Giardino about fake reviews. And you might be somewhat aware of this issue. Some companies like to artificially inflate their positive to negative rating in their Steam reviews. And they do this by just buying their own game a bunch of times, or having people buy the game a bunch of times, or giving the game a bunch of times out for a positive review. And that is obviously a bad business practice. It is deceiving. And there have been a few cases where companies have done this, and it's come to the light of the public, and these companies were slammed to the ground under the pressure of people just being angry at these companies, and rightfully so. Because all the Steam reviews are there to be helpful, hopefully, and people just randomly finding like, oh, this game had until last week just negative reviews, and suddenly there's starting to be positive reviews even though nothing has changed about the game, that does raise some suspicion. So companies don't do this. And Tom Giardino actually tweeted that they ban games and partners all the time for fake reviews, that it is really easy for them to see it when companies do it, even if they do it slowly, you know, like they don't just drop 50 reviews on a game that has 60 reviews in total, like they trickle it down over time. And this is probably the most interesting statement. User reviews don't broadly correlate to sales or visibility the way developers assume they do. And I will be honest to you, this has actually surprised me quite a lot. I've assumed that many people these days are looking at the Steam reviews, especially when it comes to indie games. And because it's what I do and what my friends do. But I guess Tom is telling us here that many people probably don't. They probably look at the pictures, they look at a trailer, maybe they will look at some gameplay footage and they decide based on that. Maybe the Steam reviews actually don't correlate that much. That's actually a reasonable assumption. I think what will actually correlate is maybe the main thing that says is mostly negative, mixed, or mostly positive. I think if it's mostly positive or just positive, people would like, yeah, I'll give this thing a try. If it's mostly positive, then people will do the same. If mixed, there I think people will go in and actually read. And when it comes to negative, they would just say, you know, fuck this shit. I will not play this if people are just not liking it. So unless your game actually has mixed reviews to begin with, there is probably a good chance that you trying to sprinkle in your own reviews, it won't probably have much of an impact. Because if your game is already a negative, you can probably influence it to go to mixed, not probably to mostly positive. And if it goes to mixed, yeah, it is pretty obvious when people write fake reviews. It is very hard to make a review that is genuine unless you are actually going in there with your genuine feelings about the game. That's what I discovered when I was a reviewer. I was like, I don't like this game, but I really don't know why. And there have been plenty of games I played and I haven't written a review because I just wasn't capable of formulating my thoughts enough. And yeah, if just somebody leaves a positive review that says, good game, or you can just like, oh, okay, this review doesn't tell me anything. You're looking for the pieces of text that actually contain usable information. And there, unless the people have actually spent time playing the game, it is very easy to see if they are fake. So I'm going to actually give credits here to Valve again. And that's a very strange day for me, to give prompts to Valve 2 times in a row. But yeah, you're probably right. Fake reviews don't influence people as much as developers might assume. And again, kudos for you actually banning and, you know, just getting rid of fake reviews. And I really hope that it is as simple as you hope, because most of the time I think it is. But then there will be those few times when people actually hire professional writers to write fake reviews, and then it might be harder to spot. But that will actually probably only happen in slightly more high-profile games, and those will have plenty of reviews on their own, thus negating this effect to a vast majority of time. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and if you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribing to the channel. If you are watching on Steam, maybe you want to give us an upvote and follow the blog. Either way, be sure to leave a comment and be sure to tune in tomorrow for more gaming news, as we are a source of daily gaming news every single day. See you guys later with more gaming content.